Have you ever thought of, let's say, like you're a beginner in photography and then you sort of like contemplating which lens to buy after, you bought your body with a kit lens. And so for most people, they'll advise, okay, go in for uh, the 50 mm. So we are going to talk about that soon. Yeah. Hi, so my name is Malia Jabing, and I'm here to simply help some people to know which lens, prime lens, they ought to buy after, having a kit lens. From my experience, I bought a 50 mm as as my first lens to use. I used that lens for about 2 years before getting onto a 35. But in all of this, I realized that considering where we do live and the kind of spaces that I did find myself shooting, for most of the time, it felt more like, it would have been best if I had a 35 as a first lens. So, for most people who are struggling to know which kind of lens to buy, you may have to ask yourself, what spaces do you find yourself shooting often? Are they tight spaces? Are they small? Gatherings where it's like, having a 50 wouldn't give you a broader scope or a broader reach, then you may have to consider the 35 as your first lens. That technically you will be advised, that the 50 is a good lens because it gives you the profile in which I see, and that is like the best. And yeah, but the rules are made to be broken sometimes. So but you should always know which rule you are breaking. I will say that. I will add that. So you should know that, okay, if you are leaving the 50 to get the 35, then chances are you're obviously getting a prime lens. You get it. So for you to be able to sort of get a lens that will reach those tight corners, those tight spaces, and then make you feel like you don't have to struggle to get enough people into your composition, then I think the 35 is the best you can get out there. Simply because it's a 35, and you see, if you've ever shot with a point and shoot camera, where it gives you the feeling of being able to shoot anything and anywhere and anyhow with a point and shoot camera, then it's best you get a 35, because the 35 is going to give you that kind of experience. For the 35 mm, you will be able to shoot anything, anywhere, anyhow. And you would also have your 50 mm within the 35 scope. So let's say you shoot something that you think is too wide. Obviously, you're shooting raw. So in post processing, it's just as simple. You just crop into your subject to get a feel of a 50 mm, and then probably avoid the little distortions that you may see here and there. I'm saying this basically simply on my experience because budget is tight nowadays, and you are contemplating which lens to buy, and you get a lens that after shooting, your client tells you, oh, I didn't see this person in it. Oh, why didn't you get a wider view? If you have those comments coming in, then it's best you get a 35 mm, and then save and later get a 50 mm. That should be the trajectory, actually. So the best thing, you can't get a 35 mm in a 50 mm, but you can get a 50 feel in a 35 mm. So then I feel that is pretty much a good bargain. So my little piece of advice: get a 35 mm, work with the lens, understand its strength, understand its potentials, and know how and when to shoot with it. Obviously, you should get a prime lens, and that should give you some f-stops to allow like brighter light and during low light situations. So it's it's one of the things that for me I feel like had I known, had I had a lot of experience, or had I had a lot of information, then I probably would have chosen a 35 route as a beginner photographer. But where I am now, I think that I should let you guys know that if you're ever contemplating of buying a 35 or of buying a 50 then chances are you should look at the 35 It may probably give you a decent reach and a decent shooting experience, also for the budget. Thank you.